Hi, I had a question. I've always had this fascination with the living wall in Dr. Lawrence's apartment. Does it smell?
We like to roll around naked on that wall, actually. Just to kind of chill ourselves out at the end of a long shoot. Yeah. So yeah, it smells horrible.
I don't actually think I've ever smelled it. Believe it or not. My apartment is so crazy because there's like pictures of women making out with each other. Like every time I go in there and I'm like, do people have this stuff on their walls normally? Is this usual? And then a huge wall of grass, and like I love the apartment. I think it's awesome, but it's very specific to my character.
Some fan, I think, came up with the idea that the original Ash was sort of botanical in his qualities is actually in that wall thing, kind of like the Han Solos in the carbonite. Yeah, I thought that would be pretty fun too. Like a dude who hasn't washed in 3 seasons.
Okay, hi, I'm a big fan, by the way. I wanted to know, is there a dream role, say in a book or a comic book, or a role that's already been portrayed that you were like, oh man, I really wish I could do this, or be this character?
There's been few over the years, I guess. But because there's such painful things to think about, I usually forget about them quickly. Curse you, rat, Legends of the Fall, or curse you, that fella that I don't even know your name who plays in Game of Thrones, plays Lannister, Jamie Lannister. Who is that actor, by the way? Nicholas? Yeah, that guy. Can you guys go get him? No, he does a great job, and he's got a far better chin for that role than I do. I mean, I'm totally wrong for it, but I always loved Wolverine growing up. I'm a blonde, fussy guy, come on. He's supposed to be 5'2". Yeah. But I think he does a great job as well. So. I don't know, there's been a lot. It's hard to put it down. Yeah, I like superheroes and stuff like that. So. Green Arrow.
It's a little obscure, but there was a movie that Claire Danes did not long ago called Temple Grandin.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, she did such a beautiful, brilliant, layered, complicated performance that I wouldn't even nearly want to touch it. But that role was such a fantastic role. And then the character that it's based on, who is obviously, she's a real person who's autistic. And you can like YouTube Temple Grandin. She's this extraordinary woman who couldn't talk for the longest time growing up, and her mother, who relentlessly believed in her when everybody said this girl is not going to amount to anything, worked with her, and she's become a brilliant woman in life and has autism. And Claire Danes played her in Temple Grandin, and I would have loved to have played that character, like a really interesting human being, and she brought such dignity and empathy to that portrayal. So stuff like that, something like that.
Or what did you do to get into each other's characters?
I just got drunk. Well, I don't know. I mean, like I didn't get the opportunity to study anybody. The guy who I was playing, he only did a few minutes of a scene, I don't even think it was it was like a minute of a scene that I sort of had to then take what I saw from him and create Reynard. And it was one of the more challenging things I've had to do because just, you know, it was really out there. The character was so out there, and I really had to abandon any sense of being self-conscious and just being self-aware and just go for it. And it was one of those characters that you just have to, you really have to check your ego at the door. And when they say action, you have to go 1000%. And so, you know, I can't really watch it, to be honest with you. It makes me want to sort of kill myself, but it was a good challenge.
And I was the opposite. I had so much great footage, and Ksenia to work with. It was, you know, Ksenia, she's fantastic. I would go over to her apartment, her mom would film us, and we would swap roles back and forth. she would give me little tips, and then I would just watch her body language, you know, like she always kind of tucks up, she's like a little cat, she would kneel on the bar. It's kind of awkward to get my 6'2" frame, you know, from the bar, but I think it worked out well. Cheers to the Senny.
Obviously you're sitting here in just day-to-day clothes, but your costuming in the show is so fantastic, and so I'm curious how comfortable you guys are in that, and how much control you have over that, and how you like the costuming or don't like it, what you would change.
Well, I mean, the real costume designer of the show, the one who started is Ann Dixon, and she had a great vision, you know. She would build a lot of things custom, but she was also very, you know, she would listen to us when we would talk about what we thought about our characters, or like when I needed something for a fight sequence, you know, she's got me something way too tight, she would really adapt it so that I could move. Or when we did the flashback scenes, you know, she was great. We built a whole look about where these guys had come from, and you know, it was a sort of mixed genre thing. It wasn't really authentic old world. It was sort of like fade up, but she had this great gift of bringing, you know, this sort of supernatural to historical pieces. Like all the vests that Dyson wear, they're all custom made. That she designed them, and she has a great bunch of seamstresses that work together and build. And now our new Noreen Landry, she's really taken it to another level. She's brought a little more elegance, a little more fashion into it, and I know that Zoe, for one, has appreciated that.
Yeah, you know, it's fun. I mean, Ann Dixon is there aren't enough words. She's such an extraordinary costume designer. And they're really lovely about, you know, taking our preferences into account. You know, there's no sort of militant, you must wear this. Everybody, if there's something that is not feeling right or is not feeling the character, you're welcome to kind of bring it up. And they're really great about that. And then Noreen, because she's just a different human being, has brought some other vibe to it. And it's been kind of fun to get that too, you know, get another kind of bunch of outfits that Lauren can wear.
Hi. I'm new to Lost Girl. I actually just consumed the last 3 seasons in the last 2 weeks. So I really enjoy the show. Actually, I have a really interesting question. You might get it a lot. But seeing the show, I realized, how do you guys manage to be so hot? Like, you guys just hot all the time. Like both of them. You just glorious. So I was wondering, you guys get that question a lot?
Well, as you can see, that it's all the professionals that we work with. This is the real deal.
Bumhole, diarrhea, that's
Thanks. No, I'll give it all up to lighting, good makeup, good hair, and good costumes. Like, honestly, we're so well taken care of. People are like, you guys look so great. It's like, yeah, because we have a team of awesome professionals to make us look that way. Yeah, you know, and then we have, you know, David Green, who is a brilliant cinematographer, and he puts us in these really soft, warm lights that make any blemish disappear. Like, yeah. I was actually watching, because I'm catching up on the episodes to make sure that I'm prepped for this season, and I was looking, I was going, damn, we look pretty good. And then I looked in the mirror, I'm like, wow, gotta love showbiz.
Lighting is pretty much everything. The lighting in this convention does nothing for anybody. Out there, it's like a grocery store. It's just like, Jesus, there's everything.